First off, just talk about just your reaction as far as last night or earlier in the week with the football team.
Oh, unbelievable. It was so much fun to be there. And yeah, I thought it would be a little more of a blowout, to be honest with you. But the way they came back from adversity really all season, unbelievable amount of injuries. Just was really, really cool to see as a fellow coach. And that's why we love to be in the spring, because we get to use the stories of the fall teams with our team. Volleyball, cross country, soccer, and football, obviously. So I think it's a big bonus for us that we get to watch them do their thing, and then we get to do ours in the spring.
I assume you'll be using Tua as an example too, as far as your players.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was very similar to the Brittany Rogers Jazz Lunsford situation in 2009, where a freshman came in and had to pick up the four-time All-American, and the freshman hit a grand slam. It was very similar to that. And, just the thing that I told the team yesterday was, here's a kid that got his opportunity, but he was ready for it. And you never know when that opportunity is going to come, but you have to be ready for it. And he showed the world that he was ready for it.
Well, we're less than, a month away from getting the season started. Just talk about, I guess, your anticipation for another season of Alabama softball.
Well, I think we're going to have a really, really good team defense. We have athletes at every position. We're too deep at every position. And, you know, I thought we were good last year, and I found some stats on a Moneyball Twitter account, and it basically said that we were really, really good team defensively last year. So that kind of you know, it was a benefit for us, but I think we could be even better this year. We have 3 possible seniors starting in the infield. That's a lot of experience, a lot of games under their belt. You know, you can't buy experience. So I think they're going to help the young kids too. I think we're going to be at least 7 green light girls, so we have some speed on the bases. And then I think our hitting is going to be better. It's just, I just have that good feeling about it.
And you mentioned the speed on your team. Just talk about ELISA Brown, that certainly showed her potential last year as far as her speed is concerned, and what your expectations are of her this year.
Well, I think, you know, last year she started off, I think the first game she played, she was 3 for 3 or 4 for 4, and was really, really hot for about 20 games. And she kind of hit a little slump, but then the last 15 to 20 games, especially in the SEC tournament, she really showed out. But I think one of the best things for her was she played and started for the USA junior team this summer, won a gold medal. Just that experience of playing that high caliber softball she's gonna run with it. She's gonna make everybody better here because of it. And I just think it gave her a little shot in the arm, and it was exactly what she needed.
And then talk about your pitching staff. Certainly you lost Sydney Littlejohn, that contributed a lot to the team over the last few years, but you do bring back one of the top pitchers in the country in Alexis Osorio.
Yeah, Sydney, you know, we went through her stats of every game she started, and I think I told you this last spring at the end of the season, but she gave us a positive start and a chance to win every single start. And not many pitchers can say that they do that. But every single time she gave us a chance to win, and she was one of the most consistent kids we've ever had, obviously. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Courtney Gettins and Madison Preston to see what they can do. And they'll definitely need to pick up some innings, obviously, because Lexi can't do it all herself. And so we're going to need to score some runs. We're going to need to steal some bases. We're going to win the freebie war. And then we're going to give the ball to one of those 3 and hopefully win a bunch of ball games.
I want to go back to your hitting, because you expressed a lot of optimism, a lot of hope for the year on the offensive side. What specifically has you optimistic about your offense this year?
I think just the way we approach things in the fall. I think a lot of kids bought in. We had a couple of freshmen that really hit the ball well all fall. Maddie Morgan, Kaylee Tao, KB Sides, Kyra Lockhart, really all 4 hit well. I think Kyra led us in 2-out RBIs in the fall in the 8 games that we played. And that's a hell of a skill to do that, because you know, anybody can get a hit with nobody on, nobody out, but to get an RBI with a runner at second and 2 outs is a skill. And then I think all our returnees are going to have a better year.
And then what's, I guess, the emphasis as far as practice coming up right before you get things started with the regular season?
Well, we've been off since December 3rd, I think, and hopefully, they've done a couple things over the break, but it's just fundamentals, just getting the cobwebs out. Obviously we're inside today. It looks like we might be inside for a couple days, but we can do enough in here, and then we can do enough in our hitting facility to prepare us.
And then you've been here for 2 decades as far as building a tradition really of your own as far as Alabama softball. Just talk about that process as far as what's gone into building the program, and just how much, I guess, the softball program means to you as a coach.
Well, one of our sayings is tradition never graduates, and that means when Kelly Kretschmann, who's a 4-time All-American, leaves the program, the next kid is ready, willing, and able to step in and keep the tradition going. And it was kind of that way with, Brittany Rogers, Caleb Rowe, and now we have ELISA Brown, we had Haley McClenny. And, I think I don't know if we're the only one, but we're one of very few teams in the country that has had an All-American pitcher every year since 2005. And that tradition has just been unbelievable, and that's one of the main reasons that we win every year, because you got to have somebody in the circle that can get it done.
And then certainly you're going to have a lot of youngsters with this year's sophomore class, last year's freshman class, and this year's freshman class as far as contributors. But as far as what you just mentioned, how much do you use that as far as on the recruiting trail to kind of promote and build your program going forward when it comes to Alabama softball?
I don't think it's as much as you think, because we only have 19 on the roster. And I tell everybody from the very first day of a team meeting that you will get an opportunity here. I've recruited you here. I've given you a scholarship. I think you're good enough. So everybody will get an opportunity. And then the other thing I say is everybody in the room will help us win a game. Somehow, some way, all 19 will win a game for us. And it has happened every single year. I can tell you about Rachel Bobo, who was a pinch runner her freshman year, and she scored from first on a basically a single to left center that nobody else on the team would have scored on. And so her speed won a game for us. And but again, they need to be ready for the opportunity and prepared.